Let's get started today. We are very excited for our team meeting. We're going to have a brief team meeting followed by a power panel listing with some amazing listing agents and top producing agents in our office. So we're very excited for that. So today, I want you to help me wishing a very happy birthday to our Director of Events and Marketing, Safia Ghani. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Nice. Day to Safi. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Safi. I wish you a very happy birthday. Woo! Mitch, I know you're having lunch, but it's time for an update. Hey, Mitch, what's going on? Thank you. Good morning, Mitch. Good afternoon.
Good morning. What's going on?
Yes,
There's nothing going on. No
just 16
changes.
forms were updated.
Right, just 16 forms were updated at effective yesterday. 2 new forms effective yesterday. So we're just moving along. If you haven't been to one of the classes, they're recorded. We'll be scheduling more coming up. HAR has several classes on the books if you want to learn more about the form updates. They're on dotloop at the moment on the all Texas Interactive forms. We're still getting them mapped to put them into the different templates. The same thing with DocuSign, but we expect them to be there by definitely by the end of the week, if not sooner. Okay. If you have a buyer's representation agreement or a listing agreement right now, you don't have to make any changes to it. If it's not under contract by August 17th, there's an amendment to the listing agreement and amendment to the buyer's representation agreement that you can use. Hopefully, they'll all be under contract by August 17th. Going forward, make sure you're using the new form. Any questions about them?
Any questions for Mitch? They will
No?
they will text you after.
Yes, ma'am.
Peter, please, can you use a microphone, please?
I'm sorry, I just walked in. You said, so as of today, use all of the new forms?
Yes,
Okay.
as of yesterday.
So as per yesterday, we have to use the new forms, right?
Yes, the new Texas Association forms.
Yeah,
They're in the process of that right now because they have to map them. They're in the Texas, in dotloop, you have the Texas Interactive. They're all there. Yeah. And they're in the process of mapping them, but there's a lot of fields that have to be mapped. Oh, that's me. I'm doing a solar panel class tomorrow. Yeah, so come and find out about solar panels. If you stop by my office today, tell me to stop because I'm overthinking it and adding. So it should be a good class. If you have any questions, see you tomorrow.
let's be knowledgeable when it comes to solar panels. We
Oh.
had a couple of issues last month with 2 agents that didn't know about the process. So if you don't know much about solar panel procedure, please.
There's a
Coming up
lot to
and-
know from both as the listing agent, the seller, and when you're representing the buyer. There's a lot of false information also. So be here tomorrow.
Thank you, Mitch.
Thanks.
So we had our missions and our belief system and the Y4C2Ts for a couple of times last 2 meetings. I would like to quiz you. Will you take that? Can one person give me 1 C in the Y4C2Ts? 1 C? Nice. One W. Perfect. What about 1 S? Perfect. Who did that? I was like, I thought it was hidden, but Christopher. I was like, wow, great job. Anyways, I'll do it to you next time. Do we have any new agents in the room? Can you please stand up and introduce yourself? Congrats. Anyone else?
And nice to meet everybody. All right.
Welcome to KW. I know, let's, what's going on in the mortgage world and get an update from our, one more? Okay, sorry, one more.
Hi guys, my name is Krish and this is my third week here
That's awesome.
and I'm here to sell Houston.
Anyone else?
What's going on, y'all? My name's Alan Rogers. I've been here for 3 weeks and I've been a realtor for 8 months.
Hey, Alan. Anyone else? Okay, let's proceed and get an update from our preferred lender, Tufi, with GFS Home Loans. Hi, Tu. Give me a hi.
Hi,
Yes, here we go.
good afternoon, everyone. Great to see everybody. Hopefully, everybody's having a great June and finishing off the month strong. We are going into July. You know what that means? It's peak summer season. I've already got $2 million for the month of July booked for closings. So I would love to go for 3 million and y'all can help me. So one of the ways that you guys can help me is just getting to know more of the mortgage terminology. So on July 10th, from 1 to 3, I would do all things you need to know about mortgages. It is an agents only class held here on a Wednesday. Please let me know if you can make this because I always like to have snacks because I enjoy eating. So I want to make sure you guys have good treats, maybe a couple of cocktails here and there. But we won't do that until afterwards. But please let me know because we want to address all the awkward questions that you get as an agent. So we do not want any home buyers in that class, okay? Because we're going to say some harsh things. That'll be easy for you to take it and spin it around and try to sell your clients. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, too. Now, let's move to the haves and wants. We're gonna take the first 5 agents. Keep in mind, the haves are the upcoming listings, not the one on the market already. Who would like to start? Please come on up. Yes. I count you in every time. Get ready.
I was prepared to do this from my seat. So I have a listing on the 27th, which is Thursday. My name is Joseph, by the way, if I
Hey,
if I
Joseph.
introduce myself. I have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath that's a little above 265 in Inwood Forest, which is the house sits right near the White Oak Bayou Trail. So it's right at the entrance there. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Did I say that already? And we're going live on Thursday. So yeah,
What's the
bring
price?
me some
What's your
some
price?
buyers.
What's
Oh,
the price?
265. Did I not say that? I'm sorry.
Perfect.
Yeah, so 265. So I would appreciate some buyers. So if you know of anybody that's interested, they just did a last year they did the fixing all the flooding that was happening over there. So yeah,
Perfect.
so it's a
Just
good
like
area.
Seppi and then after you. Michael. Next. Update. Seppi, please go ahead. Hey,
Hello, friends. I have 2 residential listing coming up. One of them is in Heights in Beverly, and it has about 4,000 square feet with a separate independent garage apartment, 1 full bath, 2 separate access. Another one is coming in Conroe, and the price point on the height is 1.4 million. We're staging it right now. Another one coming in Conroe, that's a 4-bedroom right by the marina. Price point on that one is 400,000. Be on lookout. If you have any buyer, please let me know.
thank you, Seppi. Zofia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Antonio. By the way. I'm gonna have 2 properties for sale, 4 properties for lease. The properties for sale are gonna be in Energy Corridor, the intersection of Dairy Ashford and Briar Forest. Another one in the Independence Heights area. That one was built in 2021. For lease, I'm gonna have one in Katy, a large one in Katy. It's about 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. One more in the southwest area of Houston, another one on 288 and 610, and another rental in Energy Corridor near Kirkwood and Briar Forest.
Thank you, Antonio. Sophia?
Okay, I have a want. I've got cash buyers relocating from Singapore and they need to find a house located in the Katy area. They want something Cinco Ranch, Katy or Taylor. It's got to have 2 bedrooms down. Their budget is now approaching like 800,000. It seems like every time I talk to them, they up it another 100 grand. And we like those kinds of buyers, but there's nothing on the market that fits their needs right now. So please, if you've got something coming up, let me know.
Thank you, Sophia. Isa?
I have 5 listings, 5 workspaces, one in Pearland, a large one, 3 in Tomball, and 1 in Chinatown. So if your clients need any commercial space, retail, warehouse, workspace, I can help you with that. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, Isa. Michael, are you ready? Can we get the market update from Michael?
Hello.
Okay, we said 5, but
Yes,
we
I
got.
have
Perfect.
a house on Cypress, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and just prior to this, 376. If any, it's amazing house.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, last one. Hi, Shirley.
Hi, right. Okay. Hello, everyone. I have a listing coming up in Cypress. Mine is a little bit less than hers. It's going to be 285, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2 full bath. And it should be on the market in about a week.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Michael?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's afternoon. Let's see what the market's doing.
Michael.
Okay, so our listing's gonna go up during this time of summer. Do we expect that?
Yeah.
Not only are they up, they're up 32% over where we were at last year at this time. Market continues to trend hot. The challenge is if you're not letting people know, if you're not letting your database know, if you're not using a command database or any database, you are missing out on letting everybody know. So let's focus on getting our foundational stuff set up to let the communities know in your database that we're up. Isn't that fun to pretend like I'm got a red light here? Pretend there's a red light going around this 32%, because that is a massively big number. 32%. You got to let your people know. People are putting their houses on the market. You should consider it, or now's a good time to buy. Now, pending is flat. This is about where we broke even last year. So we're at about 1.3% flat. Off market is up 35%. 35%, that's huge. Closings, flat, it's down 0.8, that's nothing. It's instead of 1836, it's 1821. Showings, flat, right? So it's flat. People need to get out because we have a lot more inventory than we had last year. Inventory was an issue. Inventory is still an issue. We're still about 1.2 million houses behind nationally where we need to be. We need to sell 1.2 million to equal out the demand. And that's you telling people, hey, now's a good time to get off the fence. But interest rates are 7%. Where's 2? 2 will be the first one to tell you they will do a free refinance if rates drop. It's when rates drop, and they probably should drop pretty soon here. So just see, the market is very robust. Let your people know. Don't be a secret agent. You guys are about to see something really badass. I can say that, right? You guys are about to see something really cool. So we're getting close to inking a deal that will change your world in real estate the way you market in a very positive way without much work. Okay. Well, here's what the product is. You're going to be able to market really, really well to your neighbors. You're going to be able to market really, really well to people who you just sold a house to or are thinking about buying a house. When somebody has a property that has a wood burning fireplace, you just sold them the house. You're going to give them this program. It's going to tell them, hey, every 6 months, on the 6th month, it's time to get your chimney swept if you're using your wood burning fireplace. It's going to remind them of all the things they need to do with their house when that time comes, with a list of a total list of vendors that you guys are providing. And they also have them as well, but they're all vetted. So this will be a cool program to give to somebody, and it's going to remind them of who their agent was. The thing that we're really bad at, reminding people of who the agent was, this is what it does, but it's so much more than that. Do we have them on? Okay, they missed out. You guys will want to come to a presentation from this. I spent 2 hours on this, so I can't give it justice in 1 minute. What? Yeah. Anyway, it's going to be cool.
Have an update.
Thank you, thank you. Do we have the other slide for? Oh, I can use it. Oh, this could be disastrous. Oops, okay, we don't have that one. Do we have? Nope, we don't have this. We don't have the one. Okay, that's all right. When in doubt, we pinch it. Okay, some of you may have been following the Facebook page where we post, events and things that are going on. Day after tomorrow, we have a free 2-hour CE class that I've posted a couple of times. We have a gentleman coming. His name is Ed Kampf. He is sourced for us by Infinity Title. He's with Hygienitech, and he is also certified by the EPA and some of the other governmental agencies. And he's going to be going over mold in buildings and residences, but also he's going to be discussing cancer-causing agents that are in homes and in buildings. Now, as I said, this is a free 2-hour CE. It's from 1 to 3, and it will be here in the training room. If you would like to attend, drop me an email. That way we can at least just get a head count. Infinity is going to be providing some snacks and stuff for us, and that way we make sure we have enough munchies. All right, going forward, at least once a month, we'll have commercial agents. We have 41 commercial agents right now, I believe, 41, 42, that are going to be showcasing some of their listings so that you all can see what's available. Because as realtors here, y'all run into commercial needs and wants just like we do. So right now, I'd like to bring up Philippe Valadares, and he's going to give you some information on his Spring Cypress listing.
Well, thank you. Yep. So this piece of property is an interesting piece. It's north of town. If you have any clients, doctors, attorneys that are living in the Woodlands or in the Spring area, this would be a really good location for a medical office or any type of business office like that. It's 0.86 acres. It has no restrictions, no flood zone. You could easily put a 3,000 square foot building on it. At least 20, 25 parking spaces on it. You wouldn't have any issues at all with the build out. If you put perhaps an x-ray machine, power might be an issue, but I know CenterPoint would be able to adjust in that area. You get about 35,000 drive-by, so traffic counts there, so you get a lot. And obviously an area of town that needs doctors, medical offices and whatnot. So if you have any clients out there that are interested in maybe going and doing their own office, moving, give me a call. 400,000 for the property. My client's willing to work with you as well, so just give me a call. Okay.
Thank you, Philippe.
All right, next up, we've got Carmen Montiel with North Green River, which is a multifamily. And by the way, I hope you'll take a look at the logo. This is one of the proposed logos for KW Commercial Texas that Brandon Lara has put together for us.
Thank you, Clara. Okay, hello. This is a 12 units multifamily.
Many of the units have been recently refurbished, brand new plumbing.
Truly.
It's an acre of land, so you can build another 14 units with a laundromat in the back. It is for sale at 1.3. This is the northeast area of town. There is big demand for housing in that area. This is an opportunity zone area also that brings a lot of benefits in taxes. There is a sketch for the further building of the 14 units plus the laundromat. So you can call me. The cap is at this moment at 6% on this price. So, call Carmen Montiel 832-540-4800. I also have another property that probably we showcase in another time in a regentrifying area in southeast area of town. Carmen Montiel 832-540-4800. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen.
Thanks to Philippe and Carmen. Okay. Kimasabi, it's all yours again. Roger,
Yes, Sam.
it's all yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So Dustin just joined us, right, Julie? Mike? Okay. Can you please just put him on? We don't have plenty of time.
Hi, this is Mike Koval. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a
Yes,
wonderful
before.
day. Can you go back to the slides with the introduction of Homeowner AI, please? Thank you. Actually, you can go to the next slide. Wonderful. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to take just a few minutes. I'll introduce myself. My name is Michael Koval, and I am working with Homeowner AI. I've been in the real estate business for, since the late 1990s, working with many of the organizations across the nation, including Keller Williams Corporate. I used to work at the Austin location. I know you guys are in Houston, but I used to work at the Austin location in 2015. Since then, I've been working with some other ones. But it's my absolute pleasure to introduce to you this package called Homeowner AI. It is absolutely a tool that is going to change the way that you operate with incredible feature and functionality. So many tools have been presented over the last 15 years that have really been focused on, getting a lead, and then you get a lead and it's really, so diluted that, you may not get anything out of it. And that's really been the way that the industry is going. Well, that's not what Homeowner AI focuses on. What it focuses on is the ability for you, the agent, to partner with the homeowner, home seller, basically a roof, as well as any one of your professional services organizations, and create an account, we call that a hub, for each of your relationships. And that hub, that relationship stays with you for forever. And what there was a brief discussion about, like, for example, a chimney cleaning. The system allows you to manage every service within the property. Chimneys would be just one. I mean, things like water heaters, garage doors, air conditioning, appliances, really anything that's a system within the house. And it allows you to manage it, to do services, to do upgrades, to do maintenance, of course, to replacements at a click of a button. And there's an incredibly rich feature once you get into the system where you'll see in a very easy way. And if you want to just scoot through a couple of slides going forward, I'll go ahead and so this is a good slide that reiterates what I just mentioned about all the systems in the property, and it could be anything. If it's inside or underneath the roof, it's a system within the property, and everything can be managed, as I mentioned before. Can you go forward a slide? There's a credible feature and functionality that discusses how the value of the home with all of the different attributes, how they're maintained and how they're improved upon, will actually increase the value of the home because it tracks all of this. So anytime something is done on the home, maybe there's an upgraded roof, possibly an upgraded bathroom, the system helps to track all of that. And, it shows, and you can see on the little app here, that there's a current value and then there's a potential. In this case, the system is saying, well, if you do this particular upgrade, you will gain additional value in the property. So there's really interesting tools that you can use. Can you move forward one slide, please? Go forward one slide. There's a lot of data on this here, but this slide basically is showing you some of the key elements that the system will help you with, which of course is going to be everything from financing to home management. We've been talking a lot about home management, home services, design features, including this magical word, which you're hearing a lot about, which is AI. There's really neat AI features in here that enable you to, using the power of AI and the technology, to create what-if scenarios for the property, changing rooms and colors and adding, different features to it. So you'll have all that at your fingertips. Home improvements, of course, you have the standards of home search and all the other attributes, crime, education, all that kind of good stuff. But it puts all this under one tool, one platform for you, which again is extraordinarily easy to use. Go forward one slide, please. Critical to this is everything is very personalized. Everything is going to be white labeled to KW. Everything is going to be basically white labeled and personalized to you. So it's going to look like it is designed and only available to you. So this is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely, you can use this on past clients. You can use it, of course, on current clients, and you can use it on future clients. If it's somebody that you're working with, or if they have a roof, something, we kind of use that term frequently, meaning if they're a homeowner, they have a roof. Absolutely, you can put them into the system, and we can help you by importing from your CRM, from if you've got some outside database that you might be using, we can help you in that fashion at all. So the goal here is to make it incredibly easy for you to use this tool. I will probably be personally involved in the onboarding. So I'm super excited to be able to meet you and to help out. If you wouldn't mind just popping to the next slide. Thank you so much. One of the really cool features, and I'll probably stop here just because I want to be very sensitive to your timing, but this is really the core of the system. And what is so cool about it is this type of page. And if you notice on the page, you'll see a series of icons. One says heating, cooling, electrical. This is where that particular home stores all of the information about the particular service. So what's the heating device in there or cooling device? You're in Houston, so I'm sure there's lots of cooling. I'm in Florida, so I understand what it's like. But you put in the manufacturer, the serial number, the date of installation, any services, and it automatically, through its own intelligence, puts together schedules for things like maintenance. So you can have the system recharged once every 2 years. You can have the system cleaned out every year. And if there's any type of malfunction, it actually will tell you to do A, B, or C to fix it. Sometimes the fixes are very simple. Maybe it's a breaker that's popped. Okay. Maybe it's something else that's very simple. It helps the homeowner to be able to navigate that problem. And if it's something that's more serious and it needs attention, you can click on it and it shows you instantaneously the availability of vendors, who's the top vendor. If they're your vendors, then it only shows your vendors. If you don't have a vendor in a particular service area and you want to look at what the company recommends, you can use those. So the homeowner is constantly using a system like this. And of course, who is it attached to? It's attached to you, the agent. It's a brilliant system that that if you look at, how often a transaction happens, maybe a transaction happens every, 7, 8, 10, sometimes even longer years, right? Very long time. Really easy to lose touch with that that particular contact, your past client. And the statistics are overwhelmingly frustrating because, over 80% of secondary transactions are not used by the same agent who did the primary transaction. Well, this system is designed to keep that particular customer, client of yours, connected to you for a very, very long time.
I
So
love that. I love that piece. Let's dive in more on that. We know that the survey for buyers and sellers said that 89% of their clients who bought a home, 89% of buyers who bought a home 5 years ago, they tracked those people to see, did they use the same agent? 89% said, I loved my agent. I would use my agent again. 14% did. That is a huge disconnect. What this does, it solves that whole problem because it keeps you interlinked with them. Now, some of the part is that they talked about is if you had the air conditioner, if you had the water heater, if you had that type, if you knew all that information and you could put that in ahead of time. So we're getting inspection companies to do that. We're going to ask the inspection companies when they're up in the house checking it out, have them fill this stuff in. Now you sell them the house, you deliver it with a nice package, a nice beautiful bow and this product. All that stuff's already dialed in and they're locked into you. So that 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, when they buy again, they're thinking of you on the buy and the sell. So that's the purpose of the program. That's what excited me about the program. All right, what else we got? Because we do have to get on to some other stuff.
I'll pass it back to you. I think that was, a good flyover of what homeowner AI is all about. There'll be so much more opportunities to share additional information with the team and of course all of the excellent agents. Once they see it through demonstrations and through the onboarding process, they are going to absolutely love it. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share.
Yeah, hey, we have one question. Yes.
Oh, sure. Happy to answer.
What's the time frame for us to sign up? When can we start using this? When we can train on it?
Take it easy, Tiger. I'm gonna get to that.
I'll leave
negotiation,
onboarding.
so just take it down.
I'll leave the onboarding and the timeline to you.
All right. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure. Again, the name is Michael Koval. Have a great day, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye, Mike. Yeah. So cool product, right? I'm turning off my mic so he doesn't hear this. Their price is $8,200 a month. But it involves 3 other KWs, so I can get paid. I know that if we have any preferred partners that would like to chip in, their information will be in the system as well. So we're thinking title is probably not that beneficial to you, right? So we're not going to come to you, but the tradespeople, they would be happy to give $50 a month to be in that system. And that way we would easily be able to cover the cost. But it's going to be huge for you. Again, we have a disconnect by the time we buy the home with them and they choose to sell and buy another. Whatever that 7-year period looks like, we're not touching them enough. This touches them every month. And that's why I'm excited about this. So we're willing to spend that without any extra cost for our agents.
Thank you, Michael. Let's go quick over the KW culture update. Calling all listing agents happening after team meeting at 1:30. We still have the juice box challenge from April 17th till July 31st. If you haven't donated yet, scan your QR code and you can do that easily. The International Division is hosting a happy hour, a Brazilian happy hour on June 27th at 4:30 p.m. at Casa do Brasil. We're looking for 15 volunteers to help with serving food, laundry, and meal prep for homeless. We still need 3 volunteers. So if you all can do that, please sign up. The Astro Family game is on September 8th. We have limited seating, so if you're interested, buy your tickets. No, we don't have that right now. Save the date. KW Memorial Grand Opening is on September 20th. So please save the date. We still it's still like, just save the date right now. Details to follow. Who is going to Mega Camp? It's on August 12th till the 14th. Would love to see you there.
Wow.
I love the videos.
Got to understand the truth about real estate. Here's a simple freaking business. If you let it be. Do the work, it will happen.
Okay. That's it. Thank you. Perfect. Tomorrow we have farewell and thank you to Becca. Wednesday, June 26th from 3 to 4 p.m. Would love to see you there. Okay. Contract hotline. You can reach out to Mitch or Bell at 281-408-0214. Now, let's get ready for the listing power panel with our top producing agent and listing agents. Would you please come on up? Alex, Claudia, and Rhonda. Michael, you gonna be? Yes. What? That's fine, no problem. We're gonna wait a couple of minutes for Claudia. Hello, ladies. A couple of questions for you. Couple of questions. Yeah, you can. One more, please. We need one more mic.
And guys, if we go long on this, you should stay for this. Right? If we go long on this, which we're going to, I'm just telling you, we're gonna go long. Stay for this. Because these are agents that outproduce the rest of the market many, many, many times over. Right now, it was Antonio, you're in here. Antonio's freaking out right now. So Antonio sent me a text. And I put it to you guys last month about another agent saying, hey, no commission on this listing, Antonio. And Antonio's like, no, we don't have it in the paperwork, but you know, with the right offer, my person will probably pay, is what he was basically insinuating. That's because the other person's representing a buyer. We know that the world is changing. I've got an agent in here that has a $3 million listing coming up, and the seller is not going to pay a commission. What does that mean? Is that going to get the full attention of the buyer's market? No, right? So wouldn't it be great to bypass all of this and be a rocking listing agent? That's why you should stay to the end of this. You're going to have the top of the top showing us what they do on their listings. And I'm so excited to have each one of these panelists. Roger, hopefully you take it from here.
Yeah,
I'm
would you please
excited
do
to
so?
listen.
Yeah.
You're gonna be really tall if you sit in there.
Yes, yes.
You want to be taller?
That's fine. Okay.
Can we get
Michael,
5 phone
Michael.
books?
Michael.
You have to sit on it.
So first of all, I would like to introduce our panelists. We're gonna start with Rhonda. Rhonda Pullman is a top producing agent in our market. She's the queen of the Cross Creek Ranch. She has a great connection with builders and developers, and she helps her clients at the highest level. Anyone needs Claudia has a background of architectural and has more than 34 years. She's been in business for more than 34 years. She specialized in luxury real estate. 34 years, right, of in business? In sales. Okay, let's say that in business. in business, I said, right? And she's always in the top 1% in the energy corridor area. I miss a lot of things, but I'm trying to make it brief. Bless you. Alex Macaulay. Alex specializes in remodeling, renovating in places such as Garden Oaks and Oak Forest. She's been doing great job and in luxury real estate and in new construction as well. She has a $5 million listing right now here in Memorial. What? And she has a big presence on social media. So she always has great posts on social media. Thank you, ladies, for being here. We're very excited to hear great tips, and we'll look forward to hear your experience and how you made it to the top.
First of all, I want to thank Roger for sending me the questions.
I did. Thank you, Claudia.
Thank you.
I'll be asking a series of questions, and please feel free to, whoever would like to take it. Okay, can I have it back? How do you differentiate your listings in a crowded market? What unique marketing techniques do you use to market to make a property stand out? Whoever would like to take it.
I'm just gonna throw it out there and say it. There is nothing special about being an awesome listing agent. It comes down to the money that you spend as a listing agent on your photos and your initial representation when the listing first comes on the market. So for me, it's all about having incredible photos. If you guys ever go look at my listings, I always have my property staged, not virtually staged, but in-house staged. It makes all the difference in the world. I don't think virtual staging works. And it doesn't matter if it's a $300,000 house or a $5 million home, they should all be represented the same. And thirdly, we all know price is everything. So it doesn't matter if it's an up market, down market, you have to set that expectation with your sellers up front on where they should be priced. So it's no secret, it's what everybody knows, but you to be a good listing agent, you need to cough up the money up front and get your job done the way it should be, because that's what will get a listing sold.
I'm with you, and also remember about landscaping. I mean, landscaping is so important. Yes, the interior needs to, have the facade, the right colors, the right temperature inside of the light bulbs, of the light fixtures are so important. But the landscaping is also as good as the interior. And that's something that I always, try to persuade my clients to add into their little pocket of money that they will be putting into putting the house on the market. But also pictures, everything that you put into the marketing of that house will, I mean, at the end, it will really come back for a quicker, for a quicker sale.
I'm in agreement with these two ladies. However, I'm gonna take it a little bit deeper. So, because I know that the question mark is, when you're staging your properties, is that from your budget or from your client's budget?
That's a great question. My assistant Tamara is here. So these ladies have been doing this a lot longer than I have. I'm on year 9. One thing I learned from Paige Martin, like the first time I ever sat in a session like this, she said, I pay for staging for my clients, and that's what I do. That is what I have done for the last 9 years. Now we're in a weird market right now, right? And I'm opening this up to everyone, especially these ladies. Like, for the first time in my career, I have $1 million after $1 million after $1 million listing right now. So I'm coming into a new bracket where I'm also learning, like, what are the expectations for me as a luxury agent versus what should my client be paying for? The new way to answer your question that we have set it up is, yes, I pay for the staging up front. However, if we get the house under contract in 45 days or less, that the owner has to reimburse me all of my staging fees at the time of closing. We're kind of playing with it right now. So I'm open to other ways people do it. I've just experienced with me that if I allow the seller to do it, it becomes this back and forth of, oh, that's a lot of money. Yes, it is a lot of money. And then it takes longer to get the house listed, and it's easier for me to just pay for it and then get the reimbursement later. It's been working really well thus far. So we're kind of trying something new this year. But past history, I have always paid for it, and it's a tax write-off. And yes, it costs a lot of money and it takes a lot of money out of my pocket, but that's the way I've gotten to where I've gotten to.
It pays off.
Yeah.
And I feel like at that level, that's how it should be handled. But I know some of the other agents may not have that type of budget, because typically with a luxury listing, you're looking at least 3,000 plus if you're gonna do it properly. I work with price points anywhere from 400 to, 1.5. So I have a consultation with my stager. I have 2 of them that I work with, so they know my signature look and what my expectation is. So they do the consult. I pay for the walkthrough consult. She provides them an itemized list to work from, so it makes it very seamless and easy for my clients.
That's you.
So at that point, I really allow the stager to determine if additional furniture or accessories are needed at that point. And then that's between the seller and the stager, in regards to what that cost might be. I do have other listings that choose not to stage their homes, and I believe in a market that's moving quickly, that we've seen in the last 3 years, especially price points maybe 600-700 and under. I have used virtual staging and said, just, let's give this a shot first, just to keep the most money in your pocket if possible. If I feel like, it's a good bet at that point. Depending on how the market's moving and days on market, you really have to take a look at that CMA to determine, because you want to do what's going to be best for your client's bottom line. So if, at that point, if it doesn't sell, I've only actually had that happen once with the virtual staging. Then we brought the furniture in. It took a couple of days and then got the photos redone, got it on the market and got it sold. So I think the staging definitely is a big aspect of it. And I used to work for 3 top producing teams, and going on my own as an agent, I felt like, how do I really set myself apart? And I flipped through HAR and found the best photographer. My homes look like magazine spreads. And the reason for that and the signature look is because that's where buyers start their search, is online. And I've gained a lot of listing appointments from other neighbors looking at my listings, and they know what to expect. It's kind of like when you go to the store and you get a Snickers, you know what you're getting, right? So when they've already had a referral from a friend or family member or a neighbor, they know the type of service that I offer. And then when they look at my photos, they visit my open houses, I do the same every time. So they know what to expect, which brings more business and gets the most to their bottom line. Long answer, sorry.
Thank you, ladies. Question number 2. How do you market and sell luxury high-end properties differently from standard listings, Claudia?
Once again, I do the same thing. I
Okay.
mean, every single house that I put in the market for sale, I treat them the same. And I treat the sellers the same way as if I'm, getting a $5 million listing, or I'm going to be having a $130,000 listing. For me, it's the same. And at the end of the day, you have to be true to your client, right? That money, it's not what you want out of it. It's the way that you are perceived and that you're truthful, and it doesn't matter. It's going to be it's your market. Your marketing is also going to be
Your brand, yeah.
portraying in a lower sales point than if it's your big 5-point house.
Thank you. Anyone else? This one?
I agree with Claudia. It's one of those things where I get a little frustrated with clients when now they're at the point where they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even think that you took $400,000 listings anymore. And I'm like, no, those are the clients I want to work with, right? everybody wants to do like luxury, luxury. I can tell you the more luxury you do, the longer you wait for those checks and the longer you spend up front, right? So I love my like 300 to $800,000 clients. And I agree, like those are your bread and butter that at the end of the day, you're going to have an easier close. 30 days later, hopefully it's an easy transaction. You get your money and that helps you build to get the bigger business. But just like Claudia said, in between, I'm using the same stager, the same photographer, the same marketing, the same budget that I do on a $400,000 house that I do in a 5 million. And again, that's to show, like Claudia said, you're building a business that you need to remember, like it has to be sustainable through any type of market, right? So I don't want just those $5 million properties. I want an array of different listings and clients. So that way in any given market, everybody knows I'm here for them regardless of what that looks like. So my budget does not change. It stays the same regardless.
Something I do a little bit different is I offer agent assisted showings. Just for the security of their home, so I'm not leaving a Supra on their front door. I do offer to not have the sign in the front yard as well, just for that added security at the higher price points. But one added thing in regards to doing an agent assisted showing is that you can actually talk with the agent and the client and kind of get a feel for really what they're looking for. And then you can kind of point out those features as you walk through the home, so it hugs them a little bit more. I've also found at that price point, you know, they may offer features that other standard homes don't, you know, with a typical builder. They may have custom this or that, or air filtration systems, you know, sound systems, things that they're very proud of and, you know, that they want you to take notice of as you walk through the home. So before we put the home on the market, I do a walkthrough with the client, and they make me familiar with everything that they feel is important, you know, that I'm marketing their property properly and I'm showcasing it in the best way possible.
Thank you, Rhonda. Any questions? Kalita? No, this is it.
So I have several questions. The first one is for Alex. So Alex, you said that with your staging, your conversation with the seller is for them to reimburse you within 45 days. Can you elaborate on why you do that?
Yeah, so the way my listing agreement works, it's basically that I agree to cover all the staging costs up front. But the agreement is that if we get the home under contract within the first 45 days of listing, that they agree to reimburse me at the time of closing. And that doesn't matter if it's, you know, we get it under contract on day 21 and then that deal falls through and we get a second contract, you know, 10 days later. As long as it's within that 45-day period, the seller agrees to reimburse me at closing. So the reason why it seems to work best that way is because they're not actually having to bring any additional cash in the beginning or to close. It's just being pulled from their final cash to close proceeds.
Okay, and then my other question is, did all of you start your career in the luxury market? And if not, how did you enter the luxury market? What did you do to enter the luxury market?
I did start in the luxury since the beginning. But I think the best approach is your network. See who you are relating with and word of mouth at the end of the day.
I'm a little bit different because I have a geographic farm, which means my neighborhood. So we have all price points. So again, relationships and referral, word of mouth. I was very visible on Our Ladies pages. For a little while, I had Rhonda Realtor as my name, so it kind of stuck with the community, which was kind of fun. But someone had asked some questions about flooring or what have you, and I offered to go to her home and met with her, and we just connected. And it was shortly thereafter that she had asked me to come list her home. So that was my first $1 million one. And then from there, like she said, you just keep up your reputation, right? And then the word of mouth kind of spreads. And then I was also lucky because someone that was well-known in the community couldn't sell her house. It was a harder time in the market, to be fair. However, I did a lot of things different, and it ended up selling quickly. So then my name kind of spread like wildfire. Yeah, it's like, oh, Rhonda can get the job done. So it's really about keeping up your reputation. And it's kind of funny because there's another agent in my market that has been taking some of the $1 million, because I had about a 20% market share in the luxury. And I noticed she was kind of taking some listings, and she plays tennis and pickleball, right? And so that's where these ladies hang out. So guess who's learning how to play tennis? So it really is, you know, where you are and who you're connecting with. Just put yourself in those
Perfect.
positions.
Thank you, Felita. Let's move forward with the other question. Please, Alex.
Yeah, well, so I'm totally different than these ladies. And I don't know, you know, where y'all, how long you guys have been in Houston. I've only been in Houston 11 years. I'm originally from California. When I moved here, I knew no one except my now husband. So a lot of people who've been here a long time know I built my business through doing open houses. And I specifically did those in my neighborhood, right? Which was Oak Forest, Garden Oaks, and Heights. And those were the neighborhoods that I knew I wanted to be a part of. I knew who the top agents were at the time. And I just said, that's who I'm going after. And it's taken 9 years, but I have been very diligent at staying in those neighborhoods. And I'm lucky in the fact that I've kind of grown with my clients. So all the clients that I got, you know, I have a listing right now on 23rd in the Heights, and it's a great example. You know, they bought a $550,000 house 6 years ago, but then they just closed on a 1.4 million in Oak Forest, because I knew those young couples who were about to have kids, like similar in my age, were growing in their careers as I was too, and to be relevant to them while they're still living in their homes and staying on top of it. Not only did I get referrals from those people after helping them with the first house, but now they're all coming back now that they have 2, 3 kids and they've all done well for themselves. And so I really made sure that I was, you know, establishing myself with like-minded people and families in the neighborhoods I knew I wanted to be in for a very long time. And I've just stayed consistent with that. So now it's just overturned at this point.
So how are you staying in touch with them? Because I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, and I am not, for those that know me, like, I am an introvert at the end of the day. Like, I don't want to go to an event. I don't want to be around anyone but at home with my babies and my husband. Like, people know that. Bozart's always trying to get me to go to things. I'm like, nope, I've been talking to people all day. I do not want to be here. You know, and we just joined the Houstonian because my husband, whatever, he's the social one. And I'm like, I don't want to be there. Like, I want to go work out and then carry about my business. But I've gotten lucky that I authentically really enjoy 99% of the people I work with. And I'm one of those, like, for us, it's social media. And I've realized that really works for me. I have this amazing person over here who, those of you who know, like, anyone who says, oh, I like your post, I don't do that. She does everything. She is on me every single day telling me, do more stories, do more this, do more that. But I've gotten really lucky and fortunate that, like, we make sure that all of my past clients, they're following me on social media. We've got 35,000 followers on Instagram, and that has been where I have built everything really over the last 5 years since I brought her on. And again, you guys have to realize, like, this is a long-term game. And I think people get very caught up in trying the next best thing and doing 20 different things. We have stayed consistent for 9 years with open houses and social media. And that's the way that we reach out to my clients, because most of them are, you know, between 35 and 45. And that's just what works for people. I could get into a whole social media class, which I've taught before, but that's how we stay connected to my people. And it's just a constant. They see my videos, we see who looks at them, we reach out once we see who views, and do all kinds of different things that way. And that's really how I've been in touch. We don't give gifts, we don't do drop-offs, we don't do any of that. It's all free and it's all through social media.
Perfect. That was my next question. How do you manage your public image and reputation to attract more high quality listings? So the ladies can help me with this. You covered that report. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, how do you manage your public image and reputation to attract more high-end quality listings?
You want me to?
Yes, keep on going.
Go ahead. Well, I think from this world that we live in social media, it's like, what do you want the public to see you as? You know, like I crack up all the time every day when I see these agents who are trying to put something out that it's like, hey, if that works for you and that's what, you want to do, go for it. But like, if you go to my social media page, it's houses, it's design, it's my kids and my family and like my workouts. That's it. That's all I've ever been doing. That's what people can expect. They know they're going to see pretty things. They know they're going to get good information. But like, I'm not out here doing like crazy TikTok dances or any of this other stuff, but like that works for some people. So you have to decide like, what image do you want to put out there? I don't put this big like luxury, like, oh, I'm driving a, ridiculous sports car, this or that. Like, that's not the image I want to give. The image I want to give is that, again, I'm a hard worker. I'm a family oriented person. I love Houston. I love design. I love homes, whether it's a $300,000 listing or a 5 million, I got you. And we get them sold quickly at asking price because we work our asses off for it. And that's really what we put out there. It's very authentic. I'm very real. Anyone who knows me knows like I'm a straight shooter. This is what you're going to get. And people seem to respect that. And it seems to work.
I keep pretty close with my community and I have hard conversations with people that other agents won't. And I also, on the residence page, just like the other day, I'm starting to see a trend. Once my homes go under contract, these clients are coming in using the little measure electronic, and then they're coming back trying to renegotiate square footage. And then I happen to already have an appraiser that had measured it before because there was a question mark before we listed. And then once we sent that back to them, like, oh, well, yeah, we forgot these walls, so they're trying to basically drive the price down after the option period, once you've gotten them out of the multiple offer, right? Because they've secured it in the multiple offer. Now they're trying to change the square footage to reduce the price. So I posted that on my residence page and my ladies page of my community and just said, this is just something that I've been seeing this past month, 3 times this has happened. Sometimes it is legit, but I just want to raise awareness with you because once your home goes under contract and you lose that multiple offer, you've lost the leverage, right? So that may change in the way that I word my contract to make sure we're on the same page in regard to the square footage before we go under contract, and that I have that in writing. So those are things that you need to be mindful of, but also different trends that have happened with our real estate market that I inform them and I'm honest about it, whether they're going to like the information or not. And I've had some people push back where I've had to respond in a kind and gentle way, or actually take it to an instant message. Also, just kind of when everyone was going through that 2020, the police thing, we're very, very close with our police department in our small community. So I happened to see a sign that said, we support our police on the Facebook page. So I had someone design a sign that said, we support our Fulshear Police. And I donated 200 signs to our residents and it took off. And a lot of different communities in Fulshear heard about it and were using my signs. I didn't put my logo on it because it wasn't about me, but I did have the captain of the police department call me to thank me that I was boosting the morale, with the police officers in our area. There was a woman that went into a creek and unfortunately drowned. And so I bought those window breakers. I think I bought 200 of them and donated them to the community, but I've gotten FaceTime with people. Teachers, when they had to go remote, I got them little gift cards from our area, La Hacienda, for a margarita. And there's been many times in my appointments that people have told me, you know what, you really care and you give back to our community and we appreciate you and that's why you're here. So I think when you show care, concern, and integrity, that's how you maintain your reputation.
Agree.
Also, like, just to add to that, that's so perfect because that's something that I would like never do, but know your audience, right? Like Rhonda knows, like Fulshear, that's her audience, that people who live out there appreciate those types of things. if I did something like that in the Heights or like Garden Oaks, I don't know how people would feel about that, right? Like, you know, it's so
You have to feel it, definitely.
yeah, you do. But I mean, that's amazing that she's doing that, but know your audience. Like just because one agent's doing something that works for them, like you really have to dive in and think about like, what do you want your business to look like? Who do you want to work with? Like, and you can decide that on the listing side too, but like, I mean, that's great. It's very custom to where you work.
Demographic is very important.
Huge. Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, going back to the question was that I think that your daily wardrobe, your daily, you know, whatever you are wearing in your daily basis, at the end of the day, it's portraying who you are. And those are the listings or the sellers that you are going to be getting. I mean, people that really interact with you and that see you how you are. I mean, you don't have to go high heels if you don't wear high heels. I mean, if you love baseball and, you know, that's your way to interact with more or networking, do it through that. Try not to copy, you know, yes, because sometimes you will admire someone so much that you will try to copy them. I mean, be yourself, because at the end of the day, you know, people notice. So there's always someone or there's always sellers that are going to be looking at you. And so try to be truthful, be yourself at the end of the day.
Thank you, ladies. Question number 4, how do you handle clients who are difficult or demanding without compromising service quality? Again, how do you handle clients who are difficult and demanding without compromising service quality?
Well, ethic code. I mean, there's no other way that you can really help them. At the end of the day, you're here to help them. So if they are difficult, there must be something positive out of that session. Or, you know, if they texted you and they were like really angry because their listing was, I don't know, maybe, you know, still 6 months and nobody's been looking at the house and they are really angry about something, you have to just flip it and find the positive out of that. I mean, don't take it into conscience that it's about you. It's not about you. It's about the house. It's about the demand. It's about the marketing. You have to explore and see what is there that you can contribute for this house to make it work.
So communicating with your clients is a very helpful thing. If you communicate with them, they will be more relaxed and they know that you are on top of it and you'll make things happen. But if you disappear once they are frustrated, then this is the way to losing them, right?
That's a very good point, because there are even certain personalities in any listing that you have to over communicate with, like over communicate. And then there's some they don't want to hear about anything until they get an offer on the table. You know, the two things happen. But I will say, I mean, you just have to remain calm and always lower your voice. That tends to kind of dissipate conversations, and obviously you have to validate, you know, their feelings. They're stressed. Real estate is emotional, right? So in that regard, I've also had a couple of clients try and disrespect me, and that shouldn't happen either, right? So when you have those conversations, then you let them know that you're feeling disrespected, and if we need to revisit this conversation at a later time, you know, that's okay. But it's not okay that you're speaking to me this way. So we're not going to be able to solve anything at this point. So I can see that you're upset. So why don't we just take a minute and then I'll give you a call back at 3 o'clock. How does that sound? You know, type of thing. So you have to be kind and you have to work them through it and hold their hand, but you don't have to be disrespected. That's not okay.
Good. Next.
I think it's just, again, knowing what your worth is and you deciding, you know, what are you going to put up with, right? I think in the beginning, most of us are like, we'll do anything, whatever. And as time goes on, I've realized recently to stay in this industry long term, like you have to take care of yourself first. And yes, like we are here to serve our clients, whether that be whatever the situation is, but it's setting those expectations up front. So at my listing appointment, I am very clear in saying, hey, Monday through Saturday, I am here for you 24/7, you know, but that's my prerogative. I make that decision if I want to answer that text at 9 o'clock at night or not, right? But also I know like Sundays is my like family time. I don't want to be bothered. I'm not going to answer silly texts. Like I have a whole team of agents who are at open houses showing for me. Like, I promise I will get you an answer. If there's an offer that comes in on a Sunday, you best believe we will answer it, right? But I try to set those expectations up front, and I'm always thinking ahead, what value can I provide even my sellers every week before they're contacting me? So Sundays, like my team knows, like I got on my open house group this weekend. I was like, if I did not have feedback from y'all within 24 hours of an open house, you cannot do an open house for me again. And the reason is because sellers are stressed right now. They need answers, and it falls on me at the end of the day. So I have to provide them the information and updates before they get to me. And that's usually the best way to go about it. And again, to Rhonda's point, like you guys, we're in an industry that we're constantly like people pleasing, right? But to me, I feel like people sense weakness. And if you have a difficult client that's being difficult with you, sometimes I give it right back. And that seems to solve the problem better than anything else, right? Because I'm letting them know I'm not going to be taken advantage of. I'm handling the public, you know, with negotiations. If you're going to be that way towards me, no problem. We can do this vice versa. It seems to gain respect as well that way too. You're not being, you know, rude, but you're also setting that boundary of if this is the way that we're going to handle business together, no problem. We can keep working together, but I'll give you the same response.
Also, I mean, also like in a listing presentation or if, I mean, that's what has happened to me before now. That you see that maybe they are not being, you know, attacking you, but they are being attacking the wife. And if that's something that will not work for you, I don't work with that family. I mean, and I am very clear with that. And they can see it. And, you know, if he's being really rude with his wife because she said maybe something that was not in, you know, in the related to real estate. I mean, and he was very respectful. I mean, that will show you that he's going to be really rude to you, you know, one day. And is that something that you want to deal with or not?
That is
So-
true. I experienced that firsthand, and that was one of the gentlemen that started treating me that way. And the funny thing is I laid down the line with him and what I expected and how we were going to do business from that point forward. He moved to California 3 years back, and then he called me to find him a home when he returned. So
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect example. I had a guy yesterday who was a total, you know what, 3 years ago, got it done, but I straight up said, like, you're gonna talk to me this way, not okay with it. Like, this is how we're gonna move forward. We can terminate right now, but oh, by the way, you owe me staging money. Like, we can do that. He called me yesterday and he has about 3 million worth of real estate he needs me to sell that I need to go look at this afternoon. But again, I laid down the line and I was like, I'm not gonna be treated this way. But that's a fine line too, but it's setting those expectations. up front.
being direct.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be respectful in your conversation and calm and lower your voice, but you can be direct.
So ladies, another question. How do you handle clients who are in distressed situations, such as divorce or foreclosure?
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, you have to see the problem. And it's not going to be your problem at the end of the day, but you are going to be mingled into that, into their transaction, into their problem, you know, one way or the other. And you are not going to be having, you know, being on one side. You just have to be very truthful, everything very transparent in order to make that deal work. Because they have their own problems, let's say in a divorce, and you don't want to bring in more problems. So you just have to set apart and say, hey, we are going to work together as a team. Whatever you're dealing with has to be put on the side I'm going to take care of this and, just be, and at the end of the day, I mean, once again, it's how you portray yourself. You have to be confident. They have to see that you're going to be able to take control of the real estate. I mean, you're not going to be their counselor. You're not going to be.
Oh, I've been that.
No, I mean, believe me, I have made a lot of mistakes. Trying to get a listing. I've been, making bets, putting things.
Walking
dir-
dogs.
Or no, dirty clothes, putting them in
Sarah?
hampers. Things like that, that at the end of the day, I'm like, Claudia, there's no need for you to do this. And something, I feel like at this time, I do choose my sellers. I mean, if they are not OCD, like I like to portray their home, like, I like everything clean. I like everything to look one way because it's going to represent me as well, not only them. So if they are not clean and they don't want to paint the house, and I just don't want them. I just don't want to work with them.
I had a nurse and she was being divorced and her husband wasn't being very nice. But she was very insecure because he had always taken care of everything. And so she was kind of thrown into left field and having to handle this real estate transaction. So I sensed that and, her being emotional and was empathizing with her situation. She had two boys. And at that point, I just kind of held her hand the whole way through and I listened to her and she just, because she didn't know the real estate industry, she felt insecure, but then also felt stupid, for lack of a better word. And I had just told her, I said, you're a nurse, so if I bring my daughter to be cared by you, I'm not going to know your business either. So that's why we're all here, is to do our part and help one another. So they didn't have a lot of money to fix things up because he was making it difficult for her. So I'm blessed in this industry, and sometimes I come across situations that I feel on my heart that I would like to help. And so I did lower their commission, but then also helped her with some painting and with some carpet cleaning and things like that. And you know what? The money that I invested on her behalf and the time that I spent with her to not only sell her house, but provide her the stability that she needed has brought me so many transactions. So, and I didn't give it to get back, but that's just how it works.
Great job. How do you handle client referrals and thank those who refer you to new business?
I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a thank you, of course, but I'm also under the impression like this industry teaches us like give gifts, give presents, give this types of stuff. Like we'll stop by, and again, if I get a referral, like depending on the family, it's all very custom. So number one, it depends on how much I like that person who gave the referral. Number two, it's also looking at like what is their current situation. Again, a lot of my families they have young kids. Did they just have a baby? Did they just, I'll try to stop by and give something of value to them. It's not always like a gift of like, oh, here's a, Starbucks card or whatever, but kind of to Rhonda's point, like I'll go above and beyond with like those referrals. Oftentimes I know if like families of mine have, busy lives and kids, if I get a good referral, I have, my favorite gift I give people is I have a lady who does professional organizing and she comes into my house once a quarter and we'll just like organize the house, label the kid stuff, color code books.
I'm gonna need that number.
She's incredible. So like I worked out a deal with her where I will give as a gift to clients hours of her time and they'll come in and they'll help organize. That's been the best referral like gift source for me to give people. And it's, again, something I know that is of value to my clients. And that to me is more saying, hey, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I'm thinking of you too. And that's been my best source of like a gift, quote unquote, for referral. But again, that's kind of like handpicked if I feel like doing that. Otherwise, it's honestly like a quick phone call saying, thank you so much. Like, I love you. I appreciate that you appreciate me. And that's it. Yeah, I'm not giving these elaborate presents, or my thank you comes in and I take care of the person that they refer
Refer
me to.
to. Thank you, Alex.
I'm a little bit different. And maybe it's because I'm more tied in with my community. So anytime anyone raises their hand, if someone's looking for a realtor and they shout my name, they're gonna get a card and some brownies from Send Out Cards as a thank you, just for putting my name out there, because I do appreciate that I can grow my business and care for our community. Kind of, it depends on the price point, what the gift is. I had someone refer me $1 million property. So initially I gave her a gift card to a really nice local restaurant initially. And then at the end, not from my business account, but I bought her a pair of Tiffany sunglasses. And then also bought gifts for the family and their children.
Perfect. We're gonna open it for 2 questions. Who would like to? Do you have any questions so far?
I do, Alex. Hey, girl. Alex, on the staging part, if you go into a house and it's fully furnished, do you use the furniture there, or do you use your stager to come in and move their furniture out? How do you handle that?
It depends. So I have a stager that does my occupied stages just like that. So if it's like stuff we can work with, she'll come in, she does an initial walk again that I pay for, and then she knows what to bring extra. So yes, if we can use their stuff, we will. If it's horrible, I mean, which really doesn't, I'm lucky, that doesn't happen very often. Then I will try to get everything out and do a fully vacant stage. But 9 times out of 10, if they have furniture and they're staying in the home, you know, until it sells, we'll bring in my occupied stager and she makes it look awesome with her own stuff that I rent, and then with the current owner's stuff as well.
And that's the beautiful thing about having a stager, because she gets to be the bad guy. So if they have outdated furniture or the paint's outdated, what have you, then she's the one that has that tough conversation with them. That's her role.
Yeah, one. I don't need a mic, I don't think. How are y'all doing? Do you have more questions?
That's fine. Please go ahead. Let's.
Something on the NAR settlement in your listing.
Yes.
Boom.
As a listing agent, there's a lot that we can do, right? Because we can have that conversation with our seller. First of all, again, like Michael's point, initially, when they're not given the full percentage, there are agents in the market that aren't going to show the property, or there are going to be buyers that can't afford that additional commission on top of their closing costs. So that can put them at a detriment in the market. That's number one. And then number two is a personal concern of mine, which I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to navigate this, but unrepresented buyers in this market, because at the end of the day, I've been in a situation where an attorney was trying to throw me under the bus because they want everyone else to be guilty except their client. And it, you know, he started asking me a lot of questions and interrogating me about things. And it really comes down to, well, the client doesn't know what they don't know, right? So the seller agent and the buyer agent have insurance, but the seller doesn't. So that's another conversation that we need to have. And in talking with Michael, when we do have these unrepresented buyers, which I just had a phone call on one of my $1 million listings, ask me, can the commission be applied towards the price? And I told him the commission is actually already negotiated between the seller and the broker. So either he can use that 3% to have representation, because he doesn't know what he doesn't know, especially a home of this magnitude. He doesn't know the questions to ask or properly represent himself. I said, I think that's a bad idea. And so at the end of the day, it's either you're unrepresented and no, we're not applying it to the price, or you use that money the seller's paying for to represent you. So I feel like if we can have those hard conversations on the listing side, that's going to help the buyer agent as well. I mean, these buyer agents work really hard. So, whatever we can do to protect their commissions and so that they're compensated properly for the work that they do, it's important.
Any other question? I have a couple more. What methods do you use to adjust pricing in the rapidly changing market? How do you communicate these adjustments to your clients effectively?
So every Friday, I will be sending a notification to my seller and say, hey, we have had, I do all the showings are accompanied, but I will say, hey, we showed your property 7 times during the week. Or let's say this, answering your question will be the other way around. Okay, the house has only been shown once. I already did a comparative market evaluation. We need to lower the house, or we really need to tackle the staging, the paint, the light fixtures, things that maybe you were not able to, for them to let go because, at the end of the day, they feel like they know everything. And then after a month, they see, hey, why this has not been leased, or why has this doesn't been sold by now. And then you say, hey, remember our talk? And going back, I mean, it's a matter of being truthful.
And to that point, have receipts, you guys, literally at my listing appointments, I'll say, this is where I think we should be priced. Oh, you want to be priced 75K over? Okay, cool. We can list it there for 2 weeks and I'll know in 14 days if we're priced too high. I already get my seller to sign a price adjustment when they sign my listing agreement, especially if I think that we're already overpriced. After a listing appointment too, to your point, I have a pre-listing checklist that's very detailed on what I recommend, if you need to do, right? So it includes everything from cleaning out your closets to getting everything off the floor to power washing to landscaping, right? So I tell them, hey, these are recommendations. I highlight based on the listing exactly what items I think that they need to do from that list. If they don't do it, again, I say, hey, our initial meeting, I sent you this list. This is what I recommended you do. We decided not to do it. We're now 2 weeks into the listing. Let's go back to that original email summary I sent that I said this, and this. Why don't we do those things now? So again, I think a lot of what we forget, you guys, this is a business. You're running a business. Nobody is going to remember or be like, oh, I did say that I should have changed out those light bulbs. You need to protect yourselves in the advice that you give from the very beginning, because A, no one's listening, B, no one wants to spend money, and C, you're the scapegoat that they're always going to come back to and blame when something goes wrong, right? So I am very careful. And again, in working in rehabs and flips and builders are the worst. They'll say they're going to do something and then say that. Any meeting I have, any conversation I have, even if it's through text, I will screenshot and say, per our text conversation today, this is what we agreed to. In 1 week, if we don't have an offer or we only have 1 to 2 showings and I said we need 5, guess what? We're dropping the price. So again, I think if you have that open dialogue every step of the way, you're going to get a lot further with your clients. And a big portion of that is keeping a summary of everything that you do and say. Yeah.
Okay, you went to list $600,000.
Okay,
Oh.
Can I answer that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, you can answer that.
I mean, anytime I have a conversation with my clients in regards to price, we're looking at data. It's black and white, right? It's on paper. Everyone's looking at the same data. The appraiser, the buyer agent, yourself and myself, we're all looking at the data. This is the part where we take the emotion out, right? We're looking at the numbers. So we've reviewed the data. This is my recommended list price. This is where you want to list. Show me how you're justifying this price, right? They can't.
And to add to that, everyone, just so you guys know, I will solve that problem right there. Do not show up at a listing with a piece of paper and comps. That does nothing for you guys. I literally take my laptop. I have the comps already ran for where I know I want to list the house, right? So they're already saved. And I literally sit there with my laptop and I say, I'm not going to just print this and give you a number. Let's go through every single listing, photo by photo, and let's look at this house versus your house. If we look at 5 houses that are priced at 500, and let's say they have, you know, all hardwood floors, all this, all that. Oh, and yours has carpet and your dog crapped all over it, whatever. How is that justifiable? By the end of doing that, I honestly, in 9 years, have maybe had just a handful of people who argue with me at the end of the day. Because just like you said, it's numbers and it's facts. Like your house isn't going to sell for more if it looks crappier than, you know, these 4 others that sold at this price. So again, I also think it's how you present the information when you're at that initial listing appointment.
I actually send them the market report and the photos to them beforehand. So then they've already had time to look it over and to compare, do those comparables themselves. So by the time I get to the appointment, we're on the same page more often than not. If a home doesn't sell, again, during my listing appointment, I let them know that this is based on history, what's happened in the past, that we're, you know, taking this data from, and it gives you kind of a range, but it's not a guarantee that that is what a buyer is going to be willing to pay for your home. Another thing that you add, if they still insist on listing higher, is the appraisal issues, the cash gap issues that are going to arise. You're going to have a fire drill 3 days before closing, right? No one wants that. So typically in a mid-range price range, I don't let them go anywhere over 25,000. In a luxury, I've gone 125 over.
Or
just-
don't take the leasing. That's what I do.
But the opposite of that, like if it's in a good neighborhood, like I've got a builder right now in Oak Forest and he's a pain in my ass. Like, and I knew from day one, he was going to be a pain in the butt, but I knew what street he was on. I knew what I was
That's you.
potentially going to get out of it with leads. I knew I had 14 other new constructions and rehabs that I'm doing all within a mile radius. So to me, why would I not try to pull those buyers? And guess what? Fine, you know what? This house, I got a plenty of others. So you have to decide, right? Like, what is it going to be worth to you? You know, like this one over here is pissed because she's done all this work and she's like, he's so difficult. I'm like, all we need is one buyer out of that. And guess what? Who cares? It's a wash. Like, so you have to make that decision.
I'm
you
gonna
know,
be
if
the
it's
bad
worth it.
guy because I think that's a really bad idea.
Yeah. And
I
again,
second that.
it's up to y'all, right? It's
Well,
up-
we talk about integrity and our reputations, right? And true, if you have that, because that's actually a script I use in my listing appointments. As I said, another agent will come in here and allow you to list your home way over what it's worth and what this data is and what we've poured over. But at the end of the day, what that means is she's going to bring in other buyers and they're going to see your house is overpriced and then she's going to go sell them another home. And I'm not in this business to list houses. I'm in the business to sell homes. And I'm here to look out for your best interest and your bottom line.
And with that being said.
Just
that
a
is
different way of doing things.
Totally a good point. I had him sign a separate document that I think we should be listed here, but you want to list here. So this is where, this is where we're at. Would I do that in a resale situation? Probably not. But again, you have to decide what the situation is. He knows very clearly of where I want the house listed. He's not going to do it. That's on him,
And
know?
that's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
totally. Like, yeah. So again, it's case by case, right? You got to decide.
But just to tag on just for another second, in regards to if the home isn't selling, yes, number one, 3 things won't sell a house. Price, location, condition, right? Deferred maintenance scares buyers. They can go find another one. The same reason you don't want to spend money on it is the reason the buyer doesn't want to spend money on it. That's the script. So yes, we need to visit that first, but secondly, I don't do a price reduction every 2 weeks or a week or 3 weeks or a month. Typically I look at showing time. They have reports that show the activity for that price point in your area. So you can kind of take a look at what your activity is compared to other homes and comparable prices. You can do an open house to get specific feedback to see if there's a way you should be marketing the property differently. that would attract more buyers. Then the other thing is, are there other homes that are selling and yours isn't, that's comparable? Since you've been on the market, if other homes are selling and yours isn't, then you have a price issue, right? So those are some things that you look at first to kind of determine. And then you also want to see what your current competition is, whether you need to reduce the price, right? Because if all the better homes have gone under contract and yours was inferior, but now you're kind of in line, then you're not going to want to drop the price. You're going to want to wait the market a little bit. So, and sometimes you're against a builder and they've got 2 more lots. So it's a matter of, do you need to sell now, or can we wait this builder out and then build your resale value back up, which I've done before as well. So it all depends on your client's timing, you know, but you have to know your market and know what's happening in order to advise them properly.
Next question. What methods do you use to adjust, how do you deal with lowball offers or buyers who are overly aggressive? We have that.
I
every
can
week.
appreciate that you want a great deal. This just isn't the house for you.
That's very quick. Nice. Claudia.
The seller will not give the house away. I think that's one of my open sentences whenever there's a low ball.
Most of the time when we get the lowball offer, we will be able to get them to a list price because they want the house, but they won't try to like play the smart way.
And again, I think I've been seeing this a lot lately, like even on the buy side, right? Like we come in, we make an offer, it's not what the seller wants, but I also will see the listing agent just say, seller will not accept this offer, or my seller is insulted by this. Okay, well, again, it's not personal. Like I kind of feel like we've lost the game of like that back and forth. Like there isn't as much back and forth anymore. It's just buyers mad and sellers mad and everyone's grumpy and we're not like coming to the middle. And I've noticed that a lot over the last couple of years where it's like, guys, let's play the game. Like, you know, let's get somewhere. Like, so I'll tell my seller, like, okay, let's not get mad. Like, I understand this isn't the price you want, but like, we still need to respond and like, let's see where we can go with this, right? The other thing that is driving me crazy, and can I say for any new agent, nobody's picking up the phone anymore and like having real conversation. You guys, it's all through text. And then I'm noticing like someone will make an offer, but then it's like, we don't hear from anybody for 4 or 5 days. And it's like, there's industry standards that like, we can always get to a deal, right? But it's our responsibility as agents to represent our clients correctly. Get on the phone and have a conversation with the agent. At the end of the day, it's our job to try to make something work for both sides of things. And I feel like we're missing that right now.
I agree
So-
with that, but at some point silence is strategic.
Sure, and I agree, a couple days is fine, but at the same time, like, we need a response 5 days later, and I agree with that.
You out.
Yeah, and I agree with that to some regard, but like, there also is like this no communication thing right now, which is a little odd to me too, so, I don't know, I think there's always a way to make it work,
You're
but
right.
let's
You're
find a
right.
way to make it work together.
And instead of working against each other, the
Yeah.
agents need to work for the common goal of the client.
Yeah.
And communicate and work together to try to make it work. I agree
Yeah.
wholeheartedly.
It's like, we should all be nice and friends
Sabi,
with each other,
you have a
not
question?
angry at each other.
No. Perfect. Any questions?
It exists.
Maybe, no, I'm kidding.
I might go ahead.
What steps do you
I'm
take?
teasing.
What steps do you take to ensure full transparency and honesty with your clients? What steps do you take to ensure full transparency and honesty with your clients?
You have to be honest to represent them properly. You have to have fierce conversations. There's actually a book called Fierce Conversations. My first team leader asked me to read, and I learned a lot. So I do recommend that book. But if their house smells, it smells, right? Unfortunately. And I always tell them, you know what? I have 2 giant breed dogs. I understand, you know, so you're not alone. because they feel embarrassed. So somehow try to use a personal experience or, if I walk through someone's house, they're embarrassed, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got towels on my dining table right now, right? So just kind of put them at ease. It's like, we're all doing the best that we can. We're living our life and, no one's judging anyone. So.
I mean, I guess right now I'm seeing again a lot of like waiting where sellers are like, what's going on? I don't know. This agent, I don't think this agent's here. She's been amazing, but she has shown her client my listing 6 times. And I'm like, hey, like, we gonna get that offer? Like, let me help you. Like, what is going on? Right. But then my clients see that and they're like, what's up? I'm at the point I just screenshot and send to my sellers. This is what I've communicated. This is where we're at. It's been 4 days. I don't have an answer. That's as open as I can be. They can see everything that I'm texting back and forth to the agent. That seems to make my sellers really happy because I'm like, I'm not hiding anything from you. Like this is literally the conversation I've been having with them. And that seems to just zip it. They're like, got it. Okay, cool. We've had a lot of those too, and they do not like me. Yeah, because I'm like, get the F out. But that's a whole different story. So no.
Uh-oh.
No, that's somebody else. That's not this person. Please bring me the offer today if you're listening to this.
Please.
Please.
Hi, I want to ask you a question. So, with the new laws that is coming and transpassing, kind of transparency is going away, one of the things that could be an issue, I wonder if you have thought about a solution. When a buyer agent comes to you and say, okay, so you pay me 3% and you confirm and said, well, but your neighbor said they're giving 4%. Have you prepared the answer to that?
Wait, say that again?
Neighbor?
But your neighbor who has listed, they are
Oh.
offering 4% to a buyer commission. Because in my view, the way things gonna go, seller's gonna end up paying more commission.
That house may just sell first and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the conversation you're going to have because I've actually had one on the market and then another one came on the market that was on the same street. And of course they panicked and called me and we talked about it, and I told them how lovely their home was. But I said, just some people are in more of a motivated situation. So they're going to offer additional incentives or they're going to underprice their home and it's just going to sell first.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
And I mean, again, I think we're all in this like unknown right now, right? Like a great example, I have a big listing in Lynn Park that the builder had on the market with his normal broker who he's worked with for years for 9 months. My main investors who had invested in that home, who I do separate flips with, finally came in and said, we're kicking that guy out. You need to help us and come take over. Well, as I started looking at the listing, I noticed that broker was only offering 2% to the buyer side, right? When I talked to the builder, he's like, well, I'm only going to give 5. And I said, okay, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay. At the end of the day, I brought him a full price offer. And I said, guess what? You're going to pay me my 3% and you're going to pay the buyer's agent 3% because I've busted my butt to get you this offer for the last month. And here you are. And he said, no problem. Here
Yes.
it is.
Thank you.
You guys, everything is
That's the
negotiable.
point. That's the point.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. So again, like, and at the end of the day, if he wasn't going to do that 6, I would have probably gone back to the agent and said, you know what, you've worked your butt off. You take the 3 and I'll take the 2 and let's call it a day. So you have to decide like what's going to work best for you.
that's exactly the point. Because in the world of commercial, there is no transparency. We always reach out. We get that. And we always say that, like, if you bring the offer, you can get the commission you want. Just bring it over and we'll take care of it. So the point that I was trying to make is that most likely in some cases, maybe we would have to have that conversation with the seller saying, look, if the offer is good, why not giving him 4%? You still make more money because you're closing. So I want everybody to be ready that maybe buyer agent's gonna get a 4% commission. So prepare for that. Thank you.
I think it's just, again, open conversations with your clients. Like everything's changing. We got to adjust accordingly.
I hadn't thought of that, so I'm glad that you brought that up. That's great insight. Thank you.
Thank you so much for it. We really enjoyed the discussion.